good, dude. It was kind of a long week. Man, that heat was crazy, right, Travis?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yep.
God, it was like muggy, like 87% humidity at one point. 87. What
Tom,
is this fucking yeah, what?
we
What?
we're not the only ones in this episode this time, Tom. Look at the bottom
Oh
of your
shit. Hey,
screen.
hey. Oh, hello there, sir.
Hello.
Sir, would you
Uh
like to well, first of all, welcome to Give Us the Launch Codes. I'm Travis and Tom. Sir,
hi.
would you like to introduce ourselves, guest of the week?
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Johnny. Uh Johnny Baker. I I'm currently working in law, but I sometimes do philosophy.
You sound like you're from across the pond, good sir.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah,
Scotland.
I am not from Scotland. Unfortunately not. I do quite like Scotland, but no, unfortunately not.
Cool. I'm
Um,
I
just
am
gonna
from
send
south of England.
I'm just gonna send a quick text to our good buddy Paul here, real quick.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just for safety reasons. And I just
Okay.
realized before we go further, I should take my headphones out because we lost my like voice like what 20 times when we did West. I'm just gonna take my headphones out now. Oh,
We'll be calm. By the way, first of all, just to be clear, Johnny and I are not related, even though we have the same surname, and he
We are
literally
not.
has my father's first name, which is
Yes.
even funnier.
I can
Yes.
see it
Uh,
in the I can see it, Travis, I can see it in the eyebrows.
I
It's
don't
the
even think.
first other Jonathan Baker that I have met. It's awesome.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, yeah. You are the second Jonathan Baker I have ever known.
Thunderdome,
Um,
Thunderdome.
and I'm pretty sure he's like his ancestry is more German. Uh, I think Baker was like a, I think Baker was like an Anglicization. Is that how you say that? Because
Yes.
yeah, it was like I have an ancestor who was like a German mercenary during the American Revolution. Because your
That's
guys hired a
awesome.
bunch of German killers and to fight us, and then he was like, and after the war was over, he's like, all right, I'm settling down, and he had some like surname like von Bracker or something, and he just changed it to Baker.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so good.
Your
It's like a
ancestor was a
universal
snowflake.
surname. There's like bakers everywhere. I mean, everyone needs bread, I guess.
Ah!
That is very, very true. I don't think a more true statement has been said on this show.
Damn right,
Everybody
everyone
needs
needs
bread.
bread.
Johnny, I invited you to the show. We invited you to the show, I should say. Because you have a philosophy degree.
I do.
Normally when we do the interviews, one of the things with the interviews is more normally we talk to people about their jobs. Is the idea is like, oh, you have a regular job, which is something people don't usually get interviewed about on anything. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
what is your regular job like? But you have and I guess we could talk about your like paralegal stuff
Yeah.
as well. But you have a philosophy degree, which I feel like most people hear that they're like, well, how do you get a job with that? And
Yeah.
so I thought that could be an interesting change of pace. First of all, what is philosophy? I feel like
Yeah.
I know, but I don't know if I know how to like phrase it, How would you describe it?
Yeah. I find that quite hard, honestly. I'm even to the point of sometimes being a bit of a skeptic of the it's even a thing that we do. That said, my current best guess is that it's an activity. It's something that you don't do all the time.
Right.
It's something that's not necessarily easy or hard. Like it's a little bit kind of closer to relaxing. Relaxing can be easy, it can be hard. It depends. I think there are people who have the tendency to do it when they're stressed, and there's people who have the tendency to do it when they're relaxed, and then there's people who te have the tendency to do it on like a very specific sort of place. For example, on airplanes or train rides or thinking on the bus. I think there's people who do it in those sort of moments. There's some people who are really good at connecting it with writing, and that's when you can kind of make it into a craft. People who can both write and do the philosophy sort of simultaneously can make it into kind of a career, right? That
Hmm.
way. I think that it also encourages you to sort of be able to rehearse the same idea over and over again to make it presentable so that you can talk to strangers, hopefully, in really clear ways about it. So that's a kind of a clear answer in a way and not a clear answer in another. I'm not sure how it makes it unique to any other figuring it out kind of word, but I would put it as the most inclusive figuring it out you can get.
I
Is
think
it is it essentially like worldview? Like philosophy is like how one views the world and their human place in it. Would
I
that
think
be?
I would call that a philosophy rather than philosophy. And so I think people who it's I think it's really easy to do philosophy when you have a philosophy. It's a little bit like riding a bike. It's easier if you have a bike.
true. Yeah.
Um, that's kind of fair enough. Uh, and so when I do it, I would say that I have a sort of school, which is something like analytic philosophy, which is usually historically in the Western canon and typically takes questions or problems to be the foremost issue when writing about philosophy. And
Right.
so I think that the kind of example would be something like a real world problem like uh, there are not enough people in our community who have access to cheap housing.
Hmm.
That
Right.
now becomes a
Yeah.
really obvious sort of problem. The question is, how do you best deal with it? Is it I think that the philosopher's skill set is best suited to working out what the right response to that problem is, whether it's a matter of justice or a matter of efficiency, a matter of corruption, a matter of lack of resources, whether it's worth making trades on what kind of resources are kind of ideal or not so ideal to use. I think that narrowing down the question is something philosophers are great at, but
It's like,
that's
is it a, it's like a, for the, housing question, is it a, you know, uh, you could have a philosophy of, is the impetus on landlords, or is the philosophy putting the impetus on the people
The
in
tenants.
need of homes?
Yeah.
Yes, tenants.
yeah.
Like that sort of thing. And then,
I'll give you a really like let's like pick one that's like a nameable philosophy. So like a feminist philosophy,
of
right?
course.
You might think that when people can't afford housing, women are especially vulnerable, partially because they might have children in a way that well, frankly, men don't. It's the fact that they're pregnant with a child, for
Yeah.
example.
Hmm.
I think that pregnancy and homelessness are quite obviously a problem together. And we might think that that's the sort of justice question that a feminist might care about, such that they might correctly, by the way, point out that we should do something about it and then prioritize it as a matter of policy, as a matter of action, as a matter of basically their everyday life conversationally with others, etc.
Okay.
I think that's what like a philosophy looks like when they sort of live it and sort of speak about it and do it, etc. Um, Especially if they just sort of go, well, how do you best solve the problem? They go, well, we are working it out, but this is our best guess so far. That's like really quite sincere and very sort of philosophical in thought.
And if you're a fascist, you think, well, the poor should just die, so we should round them up, throw them in camps, and
Yeah,
yada
there's
yada
absolutely no problems
yada.
whatsoever because I said so.
No, it's a problem. It's not a housing problem. It's a homeless people problem. That's how the fascist
Yeah,
views it.
yeah.
No, no,
The
it's not.
problems with them people.
No, that's when they redirected into a labor problem. See,
Yeah,
they're just turning it into another philosophy.
yeah.
There
But
are
there won't be
or
a labor problem if we get rid of them.
Yeah, or maybe the rounding up is not the only solution. The other solution is we do an annual purge,
Yeah. There's probably a film or three in that.
and I saw one of those films in theaters by myself because I had two job interviews that day and it wasn't efficient for me to go home, so I just killed the time watching it. It's one of okay,
That
actually
was-
it's surprisingly not the dumbest movie I have ever seen in theaters. I have seen way worse.
I saw it on a plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
um
Plane movie.
So you have a philosophy degree. First of all, did you get that degree here in the States or back in the UK?
Yeah, so actually I have technically three. So I have an undergrad, a master's, and a PhD. And I did one
My
in north of
apologies,
England
Dr.
in Hull.
Baker.
Oh, Dr. Baker. Oh shit. I
Yeah.
glad I wear
Yeah.
no polo. God, I'm glad I'm dressed.
Yeah, I don't usually talk about it, to be honest. Um, so I did my undergrad in the north of England in Hull, and then I went to London for my master's, and then I went to UC Riverside to do philosophy of action, where I had sort of narrowed down the thing that I was like, yeah, if there is a way to figure out something that I'm interested in, this is a pretty good area to do it.
What brought, first of all, what brought you all the way, let alone to the States, let alone so far all the way to the West Coast to get that PhD?
Yeah, the wildest like connections. So there was two professors of mine in my master's who were um from America. One of them went to Princeton, and one of them, I believe, went
I thought you
to
said prison
Pittsburgh.
for a second.
Yeah, right. Sometimes when I
He
hear
was a
about it, I'm like, this
wild
sounds so
activist.
similar.
Yeah,
But there was a professor at UC Riverside who visited for a conference, and we spoke. Uh, it was actually quite funny because she wasn't very nice to me, which I thought meant that I wasn't going to get a place, but then I did, and so that was quite funny.
tough love. Gotta love tough love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And why philosophy? Why not, I don't know, engineering? You can get a job very quickly with engineering. My brother-in-law did, so
Well, I guess I don't especially like it easy is one way to put it. I
granted,
said,
I should not be talking. I have a film degree, so
yeah,
actually I have two.
Nothing.
it's okay.
Yeah.
We're all here in the creative process.
I'm a dropout.
Nothing wrong with that either,
That is
man.
technically correct.
That was me. Uh,
All right,
uh,
but in all seriousness, what attracted you
Yeah.
to the field of
I
philosophy?
I think I've always been quite autodidactic. I like to teach myself things.
Hmm.
And I think because philosophy is a very inclusive, like subject matter wise, you can be thinking about like AI one moment and then like history and then
Yeah.
like, ancient Greece for some reason, and then about justice and about love and about, I don't know, what equality looks like in logic, for example, not just in normative theory like ethics. There's quite a lot of things to think about. And I think when you really sort of decide, oh, I really want to learn about this thing, this fact that you have a kind of broad knowledge of connections between disciplines and subjects makes you quite uh, able to see roots that aren't sort of contained within just the narrow subject matter that's like, you can cheat from take things from over here and use them from over here kind of purposes. And I think the uh not finding even like political science, because I did political science in my undergrad for a bit, that was kind of narrow in the way that they wanted you to approach it. There were certain kind of numerical proofs that they wanted. There were certain kind of paragraphs and language sort of formats that they wanted. Even kind of the language of it itself was somewhat constrained to be professionalized in a
Right.
way that I found that philosophy was a lot more free and open about. And these things, I think, attracted me to it, where you had this kind of creative style as well as uh, logic, whatever that might be, because I still find that one pretty elusive.
I like that. Yeah. It keeps you
Hey,
going. You're always gonna be basically you're always a student, but it's in the most positive way.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite true. Uh, but I think there's people who don't need to study philosophy to be that way, which is one of the reasons why I think I like it so much. It's one of these things where people who study philosophy become aware that there's this activity that we do, and people who don't study it still do the activity but aren't aware of it necessarily, which is kind of awesome. Because sometimes people just say things and you're just like, "Whoa, what did you just say?" Say that again.
Say that one more time. Look me in the eyes.
Yeah, I want to know what you know something. You know something, and I want to know it too. Give it over. Hand it over.
It's interesting you talk about like studying philosophy like sachets between different points in time and also different like emotions and emotion like there's something uh, maybe this is crude, but I was thinking like it's almost like do you sometimes feel like you're like trying to okay, maybe that's dumb. I keep thinking like the word I have in my head is God or God-like, where it's like it's it trans something that like transcends space, time, and you know kind of things that you're stuck with. And that's what I was kind of thinking of, and my shorthand for that is God because I was raised in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
But,
So
but yeah, yeah.
I grew up sans religion, and so I don't think I super know exactly what you mean. I
Hmm.
I feel like that it's closer to work in the sense of it's like struggle.
Hmm.
Uh sometimes you're just sort of there and you're like, I'm just trying to figure it out and it's not very easy. And you're like, maybe you sort of sometimes you're just like looking at it and it's not making progress. Sometimes you're just sort of writing it out and it's you're sort of making progress, but you're sort of fucking up at the same time. And you sort of just sort of have to roll with it. Um, uh, I I find it hard to know how to fit in a kind of overall universal thing. I actually am a little bit philosophically allergic to universals, if I'm perfectly honest. When I get like if I actually like think well, because I think about universals quite a bit, about what the nature of them are. How universal is that? Is it for like planet Earth? Is it for the physical space? Is it somehow like governing like time or all that could be? Or is it even, I'm not entirely sure what those mean and if there's a difference and how big the universe is in one way. I'm not, that's a very rambly answer, but I find it hard to know.
When you say universal, so like religion would be a kind of universal, like something that attempts to define like everything. Is that what you mean like a like when you say universal as a noun?
Yeah, I think so. Or that it applies to everything equally. And by everything, I mean like in the most literal every.
Yeah, it's tangible in a
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Yeah. I think that I don't know if I believe that anything is universal.
Okay.
I think that might be my most honest answer. There's things that get pretty close. Even if you sort of take the physical model of the universe and you sort of think that every atom is attached to every other atom in a sort of
Yeah.
quantum way or whatever, the perspective of the atom itself would have a different relationship to itself than it would to the others. And I've always found that to be more likely this kind of community universal rather than common universal to be
Yeah.
a thing. And I don't quite know how to explain why, but I do.
Well, it sounds like it's the same way as you say, like with like sci-fi fiction writers. We breathe oxygen, the human species, but some alien species could be actually breathing methane for all we know. Like we don't know past
Mhm.
I
our.
actually think that's quite likely. Yeah.
It's like that. It's just because we. What was it? What is it? I think Stephen Hawking said it. When we write sci-fi fiction, we write aliens with our perspective. We actually don't know what an alien's gonna think or be like or
Mhm.
act.
Yeah. And we don't know if thinking is even
Yeah.
advantageous. Like, if it so turns out to literally just be like become a cave dweller and have a kind of armored meteor,
Yeah.
that's it. That might be pretty good as an evolutionary model, for survival. It
Because that's
looks
all it is. Well, that's all universal is, survival. Nothing beyond that. Then you get with philosophy what really works, what doesn't.
yeah.
I like
I wonder if we might be the only creatures that do philosophy. I don't know if we are or
could be,
not.
yeah, we could be. Yeah, we really much could be.
I think so
The
too.
rare that's your version of the rare earth theory.
Yeah, I find the Fermi paradox to be somewhat compelling, and I think that it makes it likely to me that the higher level thinking is quite rare.
Yeah, because there's a sci-fi book of alternative history I read called World at War, and we get during World War II we get invaded. But when they find out this alien race finds out, wait, you guys have sex for fun? They're like, you guys just like having sex for just randomness? You don't do it at this point on the calendar for 2 weeks only? You have sex because you're drunk? What? What is this? You have sex because she just woke up cute? Explain to me, good sir.
What is up with your
Completely
nerve
like
endings down there?
it
Yeah,
might
no,
even be like life that just like literally like merges like a liquid, like two
yeah,
liquid solutions that just pour into one another. Who
yeah.
knows? It's
Literally, they're like this. Like you don't lay eggs. It just comes out. Oh my God.
It's like the changelings from Star Trek. And just their natural state is just liquid form, and then they take on whatever form they have to. um, all right. So you get a philosophy degree, or one of them, one of the three, and you're like, all right, I gotta make my bag. Like how does a philosophy degree apply to a career? How did you apply it to your career?
Yeah, that's genuinely a hard question because uh it's to be expected that it is a hard question, right? You're kind of we film degrees. You were talking about it with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say uh the most obvious avenue to make money off of it is teaching. That is the
Mhm.
most obvious direct route where it's essentially you teach others the knowledge that others taught you.
Right.
And that is perfectly admirable. I think it's fine to do these kind of things. And uh, I think there are some people who try and aspire to R1 universities uh, because they get to teach the discipline that they want, whatever that might be. They get to teach their research or whatever it might be that way. And so the teaching is not just knowledge that was given to them, but they've somehow contributed and forwarded it further. And I think that's kind of the dream of the university researcher. I personally haven't quite fallen in love with that. And I knew that I wanted to teach in my 20s. There was a thing in the UK called Teach First, which was supposed to be about giving back to, other human beings in virtue of the fact that our age group went to university quite quickly and a lot more en masse than others. Something in the UK, the numbers were astronomical. It was something like less than 10% of people went to university, and then suddenly more than 50% of people went to university like 10 to 15 years later. That's
That's a
Damn.
jump.
incredible.
That's a jump. Holy crap.
Like, boom, suddenly there's all these degrees walking around. And there's a
Oh
lot of
my
people who are like,
God.
in quotes, critical of this because of bullshit degrees, etc. But at the same time, those people are really good at teaching because they've seen it done as adults and they've thought about it. And I think that teach first is the sort of very natural thing to do, and it was natural for me to do it, and I did something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, in terms of a career, that's the longer path type thing where into later age, where do I find a sort of like home? I mean, community college is a natural one in the US. I think that that's a
Yes.
really good thing to do. I
Yeah.
think the philosophy sets you up quite well, especially if you train yourself in a second discipline, such as myself. So I do some political stuff. I've got a bit of law that I'm training up, and I have obviously the ethics and philosophy. And that gives me quite a nice sort of wide band for teaching at community college, and it's polite to fill the role, to be helpful.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
also too, hey, Doctor Lawyer sounds like a great anime.
All right. Yeah. Dr. Baker Esquire.
Hey, on the DL.
Yeah, right. Woo.
That's a
I'm going for it. We'll see. But in terms of how I'm like trying to do it personally, at the moment I'm doing a bit of legal training sort of in the background because I know that in the UK there is a thing called the solicitor's qualifying exam. And with 2 years of legal work experience, you can sit to pass to be a solicitor.
okay.
Uh, and so a lot of the solicitor's skills actually overlap quite nicely with paralegal skills as it's defined in the US. And I have a feeling that all of that, where it's things like discovery, it's about getting all of the facts so that you can fulfill the sort of demands of what courts ask details wise, where do people live, where were you, what kind of bank accounts have you had, etc. Asking the right questions to make sure that people tell you what needs to be said, what's legally important. That's the narrowing sort of view that I think philosophers are quite good at. And so I think also being careful with words, they're pretty good at writing contracts. Uh,
It's true.
In your opinion, do you think though that community college might help with that? Because on average at community college, you let's say an 18-year-old who just graduated high school, there's a chance you'll be your classmate is 45 instead of another 19-year-old.
yeah, you're actually, this is something that I absolutely love and is a thing that's heartfelt to myself actually. So my London University, Birkbeck, it allows you to study full time in the evenings and therefore work at the same time. And it makes it a lot more affordable for professionals, especially if you're sort of single and anywhere between the age of about 50 and 60. Sorry, about 30 and 60. That's really, really appealing. And so the range of age groups in my course were really, really high, especially for a 1 year master's, which is not actually that much of a time commitment for a working professional. If they're literally just looking for something to do in the evening, they can do it. That's
Okay.
quite an
Wow.
amazing thing. Like treating education as leisure is amazing, a true privilege to be able to have. And I was very like lucky to have people who are not just doing it for the leg up, which was true, but to have people who are doing it as a leisure activity and willing to spend time and help those around them. And I really benefited from just people who are frankly more knowledgeable than me and much older than me, and just willing to speak in a way that I wasn't quite capable of at my age. I really
Right.
benefited from that. And so I really like the cross age group stuff. And when I came to the US and found community college to be filled with that sort of thing, I thought rock on.
Was now community college here is kind of viewed as like kind of a lesser, almost like a transitional type education experience. Like, oh, you get your associate's degree, but like
You
you're really
still gotta
just
go here.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and then you're gonna go to like a big university for the next 2 years, and it's just like it's viewed as like a little step.
Yeah.
Was it Burback? Was that the name of the college?
Yeah, Birkbeck.
But
Birkbeck. Okay.
Yeah.
What socially in the Kingdom was Birkbeck and colleges like it kind of viewed in a similar way? Like, oh, it's college, but it's not like a real
it's
college.
not
Like,
Oxford.
Yeah. I think that you definitely get the it's not Oxford kind of thing. That's real. That's real. People get snooty about it. But that said, it's a University of London degree, and so it's a pretty good one in terms of like the respectability of that. But it is definitely like the sort of I don't know, Riverside, Davis, Merced of UC in the same way as like University of
mm,
London to be a similar type vibe like that.
Okay.
I don't think that that's a bad thing. I mean, obviously, I don't. I went there and I liked it, and I learned things, and that was cool. As far as transitional degrees, I actually find that to be ironically the best thing about philosophy is that it really suits you doing that sort of thing in that stage of life. Uh, if philosophy is anything, it's supposed to change your mind. You
That's
know,
the
mm.
point of
True.
being,
yeah,
that's the point of being human. You have to keep changing and evolving. Core principle stuff will stay intact, but the overallness is still going to evolve.
yeah. And so I think that, if you've got a fairly philosophical mind and you're like a community college kind of level, taking a broad range of subjects and just making sure that the time that you spend thinking about things is about specific topics that you find interesting to write about. And then you want a broad, wide understanding of those that you can use any knowledge that you can hit it over the head with, basically. Yeah. If something really good comes out of physics, hell yeah, I'm using it.
Oh, core, yeah. Honestly, right now, what this sounds like too with philosophy, I can equate this just, it's like being a butcher. Every animal is going to be a different carcass when you cut it. Every steak cut's going to be different. You could be sharpening your knife for 20 years and you're still going to find a newer way, a better way, an improved way. And at the same time, the same cow carcass is actually going to be different every day because everyone's different. Every day is different. How you have to cut it, how you have to prep it, how you have to skin it. That's what it just sounds like. The ever flowing of just like a butcher is going to a butcher who's been doing it for 40 years, that 41st year, he's going to learn something new
Yeah,
about the
it's
animal.
actually the very way that you've described it as putting it as similar to a certain type of ordinary practice that's productive like that. So that's like the sort of thing that like an ancient Chinese philosopher would do. So Xunzi is a really good example of somebody who does these kind of examples, and this is exactly the sort of things that he would sort of try and push as the best way to uh, I don't know, in the written form, explain to anyone who might pick it up what philosophy is. Just because, if you find a book on a field and someone's telling you to do some philosophy, what do they even say to get you started?
Yeah. It's like that famous Jarhead scene. Don't say it's 110 miles, say it's 10 football fields or 20 football fields. Say something that's common overall for you to click.
That's it. Exactly. I think that that's one of the beauties of philosophy is that you can actually capture it in quite a few ways, but it's very evasive otherwise. Yeah, that my favorite actual philosopher quote about this is by Ludwig Wittgenstein, and he says it's like shooing the fly out of the bottle. That there's a sort of invisible barrier that you keep running into, and it's like, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? And you have no idea why it doesn't work, and then eventually you just sort of fly out, and you're like, oh well, that wasn't so
Yeah, I can relate to that. I
hard.
think.
Hey, it's literally like a toddler falling on their face. Oh, I am fine. Oh,
Okay.
It's like when
Well,
you lose an object and you're like panicking, and then you like and then someone else walks into the room and it's like right in front of you, literally. Like I've had that happen to me so many
yeah,
times.
Travis, you're
Um,
telling that one to three married men.
yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
that's one of the things that's like both satisfying and not satisfying about philosophy. When you find it, it's like, yes, I found it. Yes. And where was it? Exactly where you left
Yes.
it.
um, um, since you have you have traveled between two, well, I'm maybe you've been to more countries, but you have resided in two countries now. Um,
I've also lived in Germany for a year and a half in
okay, so
Munich.
three.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
um, how is philosophy? I've heard it said that like people make judgments about like national groups, like Americans are like this, but I don't know, Irish are like this. And I'm wondering like how your philosophy degree, when you've moved to different countries, like has affected, um, or your philosophy studies, I should say, has affected like how you see, um, maybe not so much like the people, but just sort of like the like national, like different national cultures in the places you've lived.
Yeah. Obviously people are quite varied and different individually, etc. But there are definitely tendencies, yeah. And I think that it's partially a matter of what people study. So I think that in Europe, people are a lot more familiar with philosophers like Derrida and Foucault and
Hmm.
Deleuze and a lot of sort of what I would describe as Eurotrash. And I think that
I'm familiar with Foucault. He's the guy that came up with like the was like the panopticon theory, right? That's like the prison where it's like the con was that Foucault was like the concept of like a prison where or he described that idea. It was like kind of a metaphor for mass surveillance and stuff where it's like you're in a prison and but the guard is actually in the center and all the cells are around in a circle so he can look at all of you and you have no privacy whatsoever.
yes, that's
That's
exactly
Foucault.
the
Yep.
kind of thing. He has there's a sort of whole bunch of sort of structuralist ideas that Foucault is sort of aiming for, and that's
Hmm.
one of the key ones. He has a lot of interesting things about the nature of healthcare and sort of sexual politics. He has a lot of interesting things about end of life healthcare as well. He's very interesting in general, but that is the sort of thing that if you're sort of French, for example, you will know quite well.
Hmm.
In the US, there is some sort of, I would describe it as slightly more arcane knowledge because it's sort of American specific in a very unusual way. I had not come across it until I came here. And it's usually people from, like, people like Dewey, John Dewey, and a lot of these sort of early, slightly educationally oriented American thinkers. And they're all very interesting. Like Whitehead is another one. Uh, they're all very interesting, but I hadn't studied it deeply in the way that I had to in virtue of being in the American context.
Hmm.
I studied different things. So the subject matter is different. That's one of the other one thing. Uh, the second thing that I really find interesting is that the people conversate differently. Uh, I typically find that in the US, people are slightly more positive in and encouraging about ideas and not so much scrutinizing directly in that kind of way. It allows you to have slightly different lengths of conversation, I think, as well. Uh, the actual just flow of conversation is different, and I find that to be interesting. My experience in Germany was partially because of the language barrier, but very staccato and a bit kind of stunted, and people thought quite a bit before saying things, and they'd articulate the question very sort of carefully in a way that I find not so appealing to the way that I actually prefer to do it, by the way. But it is a difference.
Well, also
Right.
too, if I remember right, didn't like in Germany, for example, because you brought that up, students and teachers when they had disagreements, it went automatically to a fencing match, right? Like I remember reading that somewhere where like back, I mean, I think it stopped around World War II, but like leading up to it in German universities and schools is like if there was a big disagreement, just in debate, it's like grab a sword, grab a
I
sword.
mean, I'm keen for that. Why not?
And they definitely like they would the only protection was eye goggles because it's like this, dude, don't get the eyes. And they would just be slashing each other's faces off. And then to show whether you win or lost, they packed it with horse manure to make it more of a grotesque scar. Yeah,
Badass.
yeah, I thought that was like freaking metal as hell. But
Yeah.
also, and then going into it more too, because you said Americans, I think that what I've noticed the big difference, just being American myself compared to everyone outside, it's I think our philosophers are geared towards also too the modern day anyway are our stand-up comics George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks, Ralphie May. If you're a good comedian, you're not telling jokes. Like really, if you're like really good at stand-up comedy in this country, you're never telling a single joke. Like if
Yeah.
you watch Bill Hicks, those aren't jokes. Those aren't jokes. Holy,
Tom is
those are not
very into
jokes.
stand up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no,
Um,
but think about it, Travis. Like compared
mhm.
to across the pond, when they're scrutinizing because they're like this, no, give me your evidence, give me the structure, give me the what are you talking about. Here it's like take the stage, talk to us, like
Yeah. I,
relax,
I
flow it.
actually find Americans to be a lot more inviting, actually, than
Yeah, and that's what seems to be stand-up comedy. The best are never telling jokes, they're talking about life. That's why they transcend and are still considered the greats to this day when it's just a joke job, not to down it, but you're just telling jokes, yet
yeah.
all of a sudden we're still talking about Pryor. Like no one can top that.
I do find predicting who would be great really hard. So if we assume that there are people who have been great, even from like 50 years ago, and we can now identify them, who are the ones right now? And obviously, there's a few people who I kind of vaguely know who I think are pretty good philosophers, but the truth is they're not usually very famous.
I can't name a single American full. Well, okay, I can name David Foster Wallace, but mostly because like sometimes some highbrow TV show I'm watching will make a joke about him. I know sadly he took his own life. That's another detail, but I actually don't really know. I've never read any of his work, so like that's the only like American philosopher I've heard of.
Yeah, and I actually think it even gets slightly worse because if you were to sort of put the layer on the cake and say, okay, so when we speak of Foucault, the very next words are you're speaking of the prison, you're speaking about the clinic. These things come immediately. When we think of even the names that exist now, we don't necessarily get immediately what they study out of the gates, and if we do, it's usually more generic and broad and unhelpful. So like even like Noam Chomsky, when people go, "Oh, what is Noam Chomsky known
Oh,
for?"
there
It's
we go.
usually
Yep.
Marx and philosophy, and then you sort of ask for a little bit more, and people start to sort of splutter, and that's
Yeah,
that's
kind
that's
of. He's kind of like general. I mean, I would say he's like you know, socialist, anti-capitalist, anti-authoritarian, sometimes trending a little bit too close to campism, which is a flaw with Chomsky. Like that's that's how I would
But now
describe
you're
him. Yeah.
demonstrating like what I would describe as fairly arcane knowledge. A lot of people, I think, don't. I think that philosophers are not very well known, and I wonder if that's like artists that in general, you kind of have to die to be famous.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I can see that too, especially nowadays, though, too, when we're so connected with the internet, the flood of knowledge is so high that everyone's talking. I mean, okay, look, okay, you're on a podcast right now. Travis and I are like one of like how many millions of just like, hey, we're talking. It's like everyone is just a flood of information.
Yeah.
Probably give it 50 years, then
We,
we'll start picking out a philosopher.
we're competing for what is the best thing to pass the time while you're driving to work. That's how I've always viewed our
Well, that's what
show.
podcasting started as, whether the big
Yeah.
ones want to admit it or not. It's just, hey, I have a 1 hour car drive back and forth.
Yeah.
Very few
And
of
I
us were
think
like,
it makes it very difficult to actually do philosophy, right? Because there's this like real like question where it's like, are we doing it now? What about now? What about in
Yeah.
5 minutes time? Are we doing it then?
hey, when will then be now?
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny you mentioned like Americans are like very nice and inviting. The joke about you Brits is that like you're much more dry, blunt, to the point. The joke is that sometimes Americans will watch Parliament sessions for entertainment because you're more those guys are more likely to insult each other than in the U.S. Congress on C-SPAN. Actually, I think a great example of this. Have you ever heard of the Ghost TV, the Ghosts plural, excuse me, TV franchise?
I don't know about ghosts. I know of it, but not very much.
So, okay, so there's an American. It started in the UK. It was a UK
Okay.
sitcom, and the show it's essentially like what we do in the shadows meets Ghost Whisperer. It's like okay,
Okay, sick.
yep,
Oh,
a couple,
oh, I think I know which one you mean. They're in a big house and she's
yeah.
seeing dead people. And like I remember a reef scene. I've definitely seen this. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. There's a British show and then there's an American show.
Okay.
To me, the British show is funnier, but the American show has its charms, and the American show is still on because I guess it's a big hit for CBS. But um,
Let's go.
watching the two shows, I felt like it's like a really great distillation of kind of British humor and American humor, and maybe more expansively, kind of how kind of the British see things and Americans see things. The ghosts are a lot nicer in the American show because like when the go in the pilot episodes of each show. When the ghosts figure out that the female protagonist, when she gets her ghost seeing powers, and they figure out that she can talk to them and see them, in the American one, they're like really inviting. They're like, "Oh, this is so great! I'm so happy we can finally talk to someone amongst the living." In the British one, they're like harassing her, annoying the shit out of her because they're like, "Get out. We want
Yeah,
this house to ourselves. We don't want to share it amongst livings anymore." And now we can finally tell you that. It's like
Yes.
two very different approaches to the core premise there.
Yeah.
Um,
That is genuinely such a good dilution. Yes, I agree. I find it's a matter of like escalation often. So like I think that when a British person escalates, they're like, okay, I'm gonna take out my swearing. I'm gonna slow my voice down. I'm gonna speak less quiet. I'm gonna speak more quietly. That's when I'm serious. If I'm like just among friends, I'm calling you a dickhead.
it just reminds me of what was it? Oh God, what's that British show like? Absolutely Fabulous.
that is a very famous British
Yeah,
show.
that the young ones, it's just like you can tell the difference between British and American humor. American humor, like you said, more inviting, more flow, and British humor is just a quick.
Yeah.
Or well, it's like when you watch the Ricky Gervais's The Office
Oh
versus the
God,
Steve Carell
yeah.
one. I
Yeah.
find the I honestly I find the Ricky Gervais one unwatchable. because he comes off
Alex.
like such a fucking creep on that show. But like Steve Carell, like, okay, yeah, he's a dummy and he says stupid shit that you probably shouldn't say in the workplace, but you know he's like really harmless because he has like the maturity of
He's
like an
lovable.
8-year old. Yeah,
He's
he's
not
lovable
skeevy.
in his stupidity.
Yeah, he's not like skeevy somehow. He avoids being skeevy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somehow.
somehow. Because they basically tell him to do skeevy things.
This is basically the Monty Python versus Key and Peele. Like literally, that's what it is.
Like even I'm just thinking of the Jan episodes. Just
Oh yeah, God,
what?
Jesus.
Yeah, that's like top level scheme. It's wild. And yeah, he gets away with it somehow.
um,
Yeah.
what is an what is an unpopular opinion that you have?
I don't fully know what I should say to this one. I don't know. I uh
Trust me, we've said some stuff on this podcast. So you're good.
yeah,
Well, I'll say I've said some stuff, right, Travis?
Tom has definitely said some stuff.
I don't know what I think like an unpopular opinion of mine is. I genuinely don't know. I I'm not sure what I should say to that. Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. I
That's
just
fine.
I wish I had like more offensive unpopular opinions.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You've never had a moment where like your philosophy like came out in conversation and everyone's eyes just widened. Like,
Or or
well,
or
I
as
think of this differently.
or as in
Yeah.
America, we would jokingly say, "Oh, that was my grandfather." Sorry.
Yeah. I think I do have I have some. I I think my favorite thing to do is I don't think that certain worded conspiracy theories are actually as nonsensical as people believe. And so I think that flat Earth, for example, is actually a lot more reasonably self-contained than people give it credit for. I don't believe it to be true. Obviously, I do believe we
Oh,
live on
okay.
a vaguely spherical planet. But I think I think that the people who do believe it have a lot more conceptual resources than the rest of us give them credit for. And actually arguing with somebody who's quite good at arguing, who believes it, is really difficult for a reason. And the reason is that they have a lot of conceptual resources that are basically annoying. That they're not like
Is
true.
that another way of saying that they have drunk the Kool-Aid so far that they're far gone? That like what you mean by conceptual? Like, is the Kool-Aid in question the conceptual resources you're referring to?
So sometimes the Kool-Aid doesn't make sense, right? Sometimes it can just be like that person's just knee deep in something that makes absolutely no sense,
It
Mhm.
right?
sounds like basically the equivalent of arguing with a child, a toddler, where it's like you can't argue with a toddler.
It is like that, yes, but it is also like I don't want to fully infantilize the view because I do actually think that it really is quite defensible. Like when I play act it out with people who think that it's nonsense, they find it difficult to say exactly why somebody should change their mind.
Hmm.
Right? It's not to prove them being wrong.
Oh.
It's a matter of do you have sufficient resources to tell them to change their mind? And actually, it's really difficult because you kind of do need more resources than are available to you just walking down the street. Unfortunately, you do kind of need all of these like tests and stuff that you can only vaguely refer to as on YouTube videos that other people are just going to call fake news. It makes it really hard to change their mind. And it's not that they're saying things that are, it's not like they're going to refuse to debate with you. They just don't agree. And that's really annoying.
Okay, that's interesting. Yes, it's kind of like if you're going to get into an argument in the comment section, what is the point? Are you trying to convince Yeah, it's like are you trying to convince them that they're wrong or are you doing performance art essentially for anyone else looking at the comment section? That I've rationalized some stupid comment fights that way where it's like I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for anyone else looking at your bullshit so
Yeah.
that they know that they can see hopefully they see someone responding and hopefully hopefully I can present like better points for someone else to not be convinced by you.
Yeah.
Doctor, this sounds like just, having a conversation and argument with your wife.
Sometimes there's just bad arguments being thrown around, and you're just like, I'm not above this.
Yeah. It's gonna end anyway with the yes, dear.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of this meme. It's like the Kermit the Frog talks to his like darker self, and
Oh yeah.
it's like Kermit saying that the Kermit caption is it's like uh, it's no use to argue with a stupid person on the internet, and then the dark Kermit says, "Educate the masses."
I just sometimes you're just sort of around people and you just go, I just couldn't. There's no intellectual resources that I have that could change your mind.
Hmm.
I genuinely don't think I can win. Like
Hey,
I think I'm right, but I don't think I can win.
doctor, as one American philosopher once said, "Stupid is, stupid does."
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I'll leave you to
Yeah.
your flat Earth.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, like
Yeah.
okay.
I
Uh
just yeah, I do think it's quite compelling when people speak about it. I'm like, you really do believe this, and it like the reasons are a little circular and stuff, but they all sort of lead back to one place, which is that I do believe the world is flat. It's what they think.
uh,
Well,
last time we talked, last time I was with visiting you and your wife, we got into an interesting discussion where um you seem to have a contrary viewpoint to the perspective that art is
ooh, yeah.
subjective. This is something I care a lot about because again, film major. Tom and I like to talk about movies all the time on this show. You seem to indicate, correct me if I'm wrong, that there is some objectivity that needs to be recognized in art.
Yeah, I do think that. Uh, I think that it matters that art, like philosophy, is quite inclusive, and I think that that is valuable. And so I think that at the very least, a lot of people are willing to say something like, there are subjects in the world and there's objects in the world.
Mhm.
And I think that descriptions or the description subjective is basically to do with subjects, and the description object is or objective is to do with objects. And I think that sometimes art is to do with subjects, and sometimes art is to do with objects. And I think that sometimes it's a mixture of both, and sometimes in good abstract art, it's sort of neither, right? Like I think that the sort of silence piece is a very good example. Uh, I'm literally forgetting his name as I'm saying this, but 3 minutes and 22 seconds, I think it was, and he just sort of plays complete silence. And the point is that there's no sort of form to the music that's played, etc. There's no objective space, and it's not really about your subjective experience either. It's sort of about, in quotes, nothing, which is why it's silence, which is kind of apt. And I think there's a sense in which that's art, and I don't think that's subjective or objective. I think it is what it is. So the people who insist subjectivity is essential are usually trying to prioritize something that is within their taste about what good art is, that it needs to appeal to their subjects. And I think that that's really good. I think the people who consider their audience in art are doing something serious, but I just don't think that everyone has to do that.
Is it kind of like the whole is a blank canvas a piece of art because people can sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars if they put a certain title on it?
Yeah, or like put a slash through it or whatever with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like I think that I think that I like to use the word art inclusively and then say there is better and worse art at certain features. So I think that some art is more satisfying to the subjects than silence is. I think some art is more satisfying to sort of quieting the mind, and silence is pretty good at that.
What would you define? What would qualify as bad art? to
A lot of
you.
things that I do.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Like the easiest way to be acquainted with bad art is to try and do it. Um,
Hmm.
like I
I
think that
agree.
even the great artists have done shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
they usually don't keep it, which is fine. I'm not mad at them. Sometimes they
Yeah.
sneeze. That's okay. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's very upsetting to them.
Um, I always think like to
Everybody
me,
poops.
Yep.
yeah. I guess like I guess I would consider like well like I always think about this in context of movies and you know and I think it matters of like what emotional response are you trying to elicit from the viewer of said art. Um, and with movies, I've come around to the position of I've seen a lot of like really badly made stuff, but and even stuff that like I just hated, but I hated it, and I'm like, that's something. I felt something from that, and maybe I could say the movie was bad, but it was engagingly bad, and I've come to the position of like the worst thing that a movie or TV show could be is boring because then I feel nothing. It's vapor. It's
Yeah.
just it
Yeah.
has no place in my conscience. Transformers 2 will always hold a special place in my heart because to me that was like a coming of age moment where I finally discovered what bad movies are. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is what a bad movie looks like."
Yeah. I can't remember the exact name of it, of the film that I'm thinking of, but there's these three films. They're horror films about Frosty the Snowman, and
Oh
the
yeah,
snowman murders people. It's so good, but really not good.
I remember the first one, dude. Oh, you know what's funny? I saw the first one when I was introduced to that. It's at my grandma's house.
Yes.
J- Jack Frost. That's what those movies
Jack
are called,
Frost.
right? Yeah.
Dude,
Oh my God.
those are the first one. You can't argue that. I mean, that's just me, but damn, that first
No,
one was just
you're
a
in good
smile on my
company.
face.
Good company. Yeah. That was like I think the one that was most clear to me. Scary Movie was around the same time as me as that and was pushing me
Yeah.
over the edge at the same time. But I like quite a lot of things like that. But to directly answer your question, Travis, I think that yes, caring about the emotional reaction of the audience and caring that they're not boring is like very important. But
Mhm.
I want to say that there's like lots of different values for art. And so there's lots of things that people in art might care about, but it might be universally agreed upon that some things are pretty bad. And I think boring is a pretty good example of something that is dislikable to almost every type of art.
Mhm.
Um, I'm pretty sure. I guess one way to put it is that there's certain scents which will not make it into perfume. Yeah, there are some scents that I think, or certain substances that people just go, no, that's not good. That's not
Have
gonna
you
do.
have you
Like
have you
bleach, for
tried
example. I have a
have
feeling
you
bleach is probably not gonna make it into perfume anytime soon.
I was gonna say wasabi, but yeah, that's correct. It's
Yeah, yeah. Because boring is good for like I don't know, like I don't know, countering children, for example. Boring's useful for things, but it's not maybe not for art or emotional reactions. Maybe it's good for that actually. Maybe it's
Well,
anger.
if you think, I feel like all art as overallness, because there's different categories of art, but all art, if you're the point of art is to display it. Displaying is a performance in some degree. So the boring part is a good odometer,
Yeah,
like if it's good or not. I mean, if your art and any whatever it is, a painting, a song, a movie, a show, if it elicits straight up hatred and anger, it's like this. It ain't boring.
damn right.
yeah.
Ain't boring.
Yeah, yep.
Or as other people say too, like okay, like if it leads to people getting knocked up, it ain't boring.
It's like
Yeah, that's it.
it's it's like the conundrum of springtime for Hitler and the producers. Like, it was meant to be in the story of the producers, for Hitler was meant to offend every single audience member that watched it from the titular producer's perspective, um, and to the point where it would just go out of business, and it didn't work. People watched it, laughed at it, thought it was satire, and so I guess it's like I guess that's another question of like, and then of course the person that wrote the musical was like an actual Nazi that thought it was glorifying Hitler earnestly.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it didn't work for him either. So
Yeah.
it's like in again within the story of the producers, was Springtime for Hitler bad art or good art if the audience had the wrong reaction from the perspective of the people that made it?
Yeah.
Well, hey, it wasn't boring.
Yeah.
And you know what I'll say to that? Because there's a kind of a saying when it comes to it. If you go gambling to lose money, you're gonna win,
Yeah.
and you're gonna
Yeah.
hate it. And the thing is, you actually will hate it. You're like, I'm trying to fucking go home. God damn it, I keep winning. Like there's that thing. Like when you go into gambling to be like, I don't care, I'm gonna lose money. I don't care, whatever, just spend the money. You always win.
Yeah. I think it is a little bit like that. You play shitty games and you find out.
Yeah. Hey, it gets annoying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Uh, well, Tom did this with me once. I felt, given the type of subject matter we're talking about, albeit in a very pop, lowbrow sort of way, I imagine. We Tom did this thing with me. It's have you ever heard of the Colbert questionnaire?
I have not.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Tom,
We're gonna have
I was like,
would
I'm
you
gonna
like
keep that out of
to
eyes.
put our esteemed guests through the Colbert questionnaire?
Yeah, let's do it.
good doctor. Are you ready for the speed round of your life?
I'm ready. I'm gonna sit
All
up.
righty, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of a guy who should not have been fired so early, yet I agree he should have been fired. Ha ha ha. Here is the Colbert questionnaire. 15 questions to get to know you
Ah,
a little more. What's the best sandwich?
what's the best sandwich? Oh dear. I have a disgusting answer. Childhood favorite.
Hell
Very
yeah.
Beans and
is
toast.
cheese, salad cream, and onion. Raw onion. Wild.
Ooh, okay, the raw onion got me, but the other two, I was like, that actually might sound good.
That said, my honest answer is if you put onions in a grilled cheese, then you're pretty on to the en route. That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good
Oh,
move.
dude, have you ever been to In-N-Out and gotten their grilled cheese with their grilled onions?
I'm gonna now. I didn't know that.
Okay, go to In-N-Out, ask for their grilled cheese, ask for it plain with just spread ketchup and a whole grilled onion. You
Yes.
you might get pregnant.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Help me out. That's it. Right.
Okay. Number two.
Ketchup is right.
Oh God, yeah, it's so good.
Yes.
Okay, what's one thing you own that you really should throw out?
One thing that I own. I have a funny story actually. So I have Redfin, the company, is like Zillow. I just have a random laptop that I've been trying to return to them, and I can't. But I don't really want to throw out a whole ass laptop. But I can't actually use it because it's locked. And so I just have it here for no reason. Yeah,
I think
I
there's
want
like
it
e-waste
gone.
recycling that can
Yeah,
help with that.
yeah. And so I've been emailing them. I'm just like, if you're out there, Redfin, send me send me a thing. Damn it.
Well, hey, Travis, let's add him on a link here.
You know, I'll email this episode to their customer service
Yeah,
page.
yeah, yeah. See what they say. Be in contact. Hello.
What is the scariest animal?
Scariest animal. Um, I've always thought that like rockfish sounded pretty scary. Where you just stand on something and it hurts for a second and you look down and you figure out what it was and you just think, oh, that's it then.
Those
No,
things
no,
suck.
thank you.
Those
Yeah,
things. God dang. Okay. Ooh, here's a deep one. Apples or oranges?
apples.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like you got to be pretty mad to say oranges.
yeah. I think apples are just the best.
As I tell Travis, you can smoke out of one.
Yeah, you can make it into an alcove. See you later, oranges.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
No.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I've been given autographed things, which is quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I don't think I've actually ever asked. No.
What do you think happens when we die?
I think that I have a funny philosophy answer. I don't think that the centralized uh, brain, the neurological structure that we have, uh, I don't think that it stops when it breaks. I think that it breaks up and consciousness continues to fire. And that looks a little bit like diluting yourself in water. And I don't know exactly how best to describe it better than that. But I think that the idea that consciousness is in an on-off state is unlikely. I think that our best evidence is that it's on, and if we have evidence that it's on, always on is a pretty good example. Uh, I have a scary thought that there is something that it feels like to have your head caved in with an axe.
Oh God, yeah, that definitely is a feeling. I bet there's too many war stories for there not to be.
Oh yeah. I don't have a nice way to put it, but I just don't believe that the brain only operates when it's one working object. That
I
sounds
love that you said that because there's actually a famous scene. So really quick, have you seen the movie Tombstone?
no, but I will if
There's a
you.
moment where a big character shoots another character in the skull with a bullet, but he keeps going, and it's like a everyone, yeah, it's like shit happens in battle in war.
Something's still
Oh yeah.
there.
There's something still firing, and I think that's where to me the phrase "the chicken without its head." It's like, yeah, that's something's firing still.
Yeah. I unfortunately believe that is most likely. Yeah.
So
I'm not
like
sure what it will
you're
do to the structure of experience. That's another matter, but my suspicion is that experience doesn't stop because because it might be quite tightly entwined with what it means to be consciously on.
Yeah.
so like you're just always like even when you're dead, you're just like stuck and somewhat aware of like
Yeah,
you when your
forever.
funeral is happening and then you go to the
Dude, Travis, then you better have some good fucking music for mine. I swear to God, I better hear some good fucking music. Then I'm gonna fucking come at you.
The bit that
Dude,
gets me is I don't know what the sensations would be like because I think that ears make possible sound, for example, and eyes make possible vision. And so when you lose the things that you can make those appear with, there's a kind of unconsciousness with a lack of input. I have a
Well,
feeling it does feel like something, but I
that
don't know
makes
what it would feel like. And my best example is being diluted in water.
well, this makes so much sense though, because then how do you explain poltergeist and haunting and ghosts? It's like the same fucking thing. Diluting in water. You're in water. A ghost is almost always presented to us in almost I'm floating in the way of water. Your water. Your hair
If
is moving. Your clothes are moving. Water.
if anyone has any recollection of it, unfortunately, I think that the recollections people have seem to indicate something like this too. I think that the best examples we have seem to have themes, and it's things like, looseness, falling apart, floating.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Why would you say that? Please don't say that.
Yeah.
that has got to be the most horrifying
Oh yeah.
thing I have ever
Yeah, I'm not
heard.
certain, obviously, because I don't think anyone can know. But if you ask me, what is my current best set of evidence point to? That is my reasoned.
See, I always thought like, like that actually sounds worse than the like casual atheist idea, which is just nothing. Like you just stop, and then there's nothing afterwards, so you're just like asleep with no dreams.
Yeah.
God,
Do you want to
that's
hear an
actually
even worse thought?
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when people describe it, usually they're experiencing it as a kind of like looseness or fluidity, or a kind of, I would describe that as frictionless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that is poorly evidenced. I think that our consciousness as an efficient object, as a kind of centralized thing, is designed to be frictionless. And so the likelihood that our thinking runs into a kind of friction and sort of sort of sparks up like a match along a sort of surface is actually quite likely. And so instead of consciousness being kind of shutting out and snuffing out, if anything, it's a little bit like sparking up a match that's no longer able to be sort of a match head. And that's even scarier, I think. So the idea that it feels a bit like a blast. Uh, when people describe bright white light, that strikes me as like a blast, especially if you don't have eyes. Oh dear. Don't say that again.
Yeah, if you're blind, yeah, if you're blind, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, blind people describe it as that too often, from my understanding. There's a professor at UCR called John Martin Fisher who did a big study on immortality and life after death experiences.
Oh.
And obviously it's inconclusive, but having quite a large documentation of people who have been through that is an interesting project to have, nonetheless.
And honestly, let's be honest, a white light is a blast. The first initial couple of seconds of a blast is a blinding white light. It's just how it is.
Yeah. So if consciousness turns on because it's a little bit like you're hitting the friction now and it's like searing you. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
I'm really glad I did not drink for this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would be able to handle this. or do any caffeine, just water. I was like, no, 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 super sober, no drugs, no influences for this one.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Oh,
that is my best guess. Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
whew.
Okay. Okay. Here's okay.
Yeah, please move on.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It
Please, for the
makes me
love of God, move
uncomfortable.
on.
I don't want this to be true.
Favorite action movie.
Favorite action movie. Shit.
Okay,
That is so
wait.
hard. Um, I don't know if it counts, but I really like Grand Budapest Hotel. That is one of my like top favorite films. I don't think it's quite an action film, but I really do. I really
Your
do.
answer is your answer.
Yeah. And also, too, it is a chase film. It's
Yeah,
a chase film.
yeah,
There's gunfire going on in
Oh,
that
by the way,
movie.
people have answered this as like, oh, Gladiator or a historical epic like Braveheart, and I'm like, all
I
right,
said Terminator. Terminator is my favorite action
I
movie.
said 300.
Yeah.
300's pretty good. Terminator's also pretty good.
But
I like
Grand
that Grand Budapest
Budapest
Hotel.
Hotel.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I
There's
don't
a
think it's quite action, but
no,
it
there's a
really
lot going on though in that.
There's action in it. It's
Shit.
action as
I
Wes
really like
Hey,
Anderson
it.
hey,
thinks of
there
it.
are two wars that
Yeah,
happen in that movie.
I think it's the color scheme. It's all the pastel. It really like just everything about it really like tickles an itch for me, and I really like it.
I love that. Actually, I think
Should have known you were a Wes Anderson
that's his best
head.
film ever too. That movie holds. I
I
love
think so. Yeah,
I'm more of a Moonrise Kingdom guy, but Grand Budapest
it.
is great.
I also
Yeah,
love
'cause
Hot
you're a Boy
Fuzz.
Scout.
Yes, I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and Hot Fuzz is my favorite. That's definitely got action. Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, all right.
well,
Yeah,
Hot Fuzz,
that's.
like Jesus, that's
I
probably
mean,
There we go.
that took
that
over.
also.
Here come the fun. All right, what's your favorite smell?
Well, my favorite, sorry?
Smell.
Oh, easy. There's a smell that the rain makes, and it doesn't really do it over here, actually, in the US. It's in the UK. It's something maybe to do with the asphalt or the pavement specifically. And
Wow.
Oh,
when the rain
man,
hits it, it smells
that's
gorgeous.
fucking
It's
deep.
just serene.
Our asphalt is very different from anywhere in the world. That's actually a fucking deep answer, dude.
I
Yeah,
mean,
love it.
I know what asphalt here smells like when it rains. Like I can picture, I can
Yeah, I can smell it right now, but holy shit.
You go and
smell
ask
of
British
light. I don't
people,
know.
they will respond like me about this, I think. I think that it is that common that most people will go, yes, that smells really nice. It smells like childhood. It smells like peacefulness. It smells like uh, a rainy day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
God
Smells
damn.
like sleeping in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah. Love
That's
it.
dude, that's a fucking movie line.
When the rain
Asphalt in the
hits the
rain.
Yeah.
That's home. Wow.
Yeah. That
Fuck.
makes me think of uh yeah, childhood. It makes me think of being, yeah, peace. It makes me think of thinking. It
Dude,
makes me think of bus rides home.
dude, I just got taken back to fucking childhood right now, actually, because I'm thinking of all the key moments I had with myself in the rain, and Holy shit.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like I'm just now thinking of like those Gen Z slop videos you find on Instagram and TikTok where it's like, remember when we were young, and it has like some sort of one of like the three ambient music tracks that they always use in those videos, and it'll show like photographs of empty environments, but you're supposed to recognize them as like,
Yeah.
oh, a classroom. I had a classroom like that. I went to a Chuck E. Cheese that looked like that. I
Apparently
remember when my
smells.
neighborhood had yellow light bulbs
Yeah.
instead of the bright whites that we have now.
Yeah.
That
Apparently
honestly makes it,
smells are the
this should,
best at
yeah.
recall for us. So we can recall much better. It's one of the strangest things about like films and movies is that actually the best kind of inciting memories in a person medium is smell. And that actually we're like relying on sort of sensors that are slightly worse for the job. Uh, that's so fascinating to me. Uh, I actually think that's like how philosophy works too. We're really bad at picking the right medium for
Dude,
it, but there we go.
dude, I love going inside like a not like a liquor store, but like something like a Total Wine, not like just a regular joint on the street, but like a Total Wine because it's the smell of that like that laminated print on the labels
Yep.
because it smells like a bookstore or a comic book store. Because I found that a Total Wine smells like or a Bevmo or something like that because of the labeling and the abundance of the product. It smells like a bookstore of
Yeah.
sorts.
In the UK we have post offices and you can buy alcohol and you can buy books and you can buy like snacks and the labels are exactly like that and it's such a similar experience. I've had like nostalgic moments in these places.
Mhm.
That
In
should
Las
be
Vegas usually.
that that should be the new traveling trend. Go to places when it's raining to
Yeah.
get the actual smell. Go
Yeah.
to India, Japan, Russia, Europe, Brazil, Antarctica, everywhere smells so distinct when
I'm
it's raining.
sure. Even if like whether the rain is warm or cold,
It doesn't
even
matter.
like
Yeah.
warm rain for like the first time over here, like in a really like wow, this is like actually like warm. That's
Yeah.
really
I bet
amazing.
that was something for you to experience as an adult because as a kid, you're just like, yeah, it's just warm and
You,
raining. But
you
as an
should
adult,
visit the Gulf Coast. You want to know what warm rain is
oh
like?
God, yeah.
Whether it's Texas, which is where my grandparents lived,
Oh, dude, just go
Harris
to
County,
Arizona. Just go to Arizona in the rain too. That's
Yeah.
cool.
The
Disney
hottest rain I
World
had
in
was New York.
Orlando.
There was a heat wave in New York and it rained.
Yeah.
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 Oh, wow. Hey, what's your least favorite smell?
Least favorite smell. I quite like a lot of things in general. I think I can't think of anything besides shit.
Just poop. Okay.
Yeah.
Any poop. You don't discriminate. It's not human poop, dog poop, cat poop. It just any poop. It's
Yeah,
all
poop
bad.
doesn't
All
smell great.
equally bad.
I think that dogs smell quite unique in a way.
Dog shit is
Uh,
very unique. You know it's dog shit when it's dog shit.
yeah, and I think it's interesting because I think it's like cat piss and dog shit that are like uniquely the smelling things. I
Yep.
think I can smell both of those and dislike them.
It's like horse. It's like actual cow shit and artificial manure. You know the
Yeah,
difference.
totally different.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a better answer to that. Smells don't typically offend me. I'm usually pretty like just let's go.
Hey, Travis, remember my answer?
Yeah, hit
I
me.
don't, but I remember my answer.
My favorite smell is my oldest son's poop.
Oh no.
No, so my son right now is 4,
Yeah.
but I swear to God, for almost 3 years, I was always happy to change his diaper because the way his poop smelled. And here's the thing, you're gonna have to go there now, man. Go to Stater Brothers, go get the buttercream cake loaf slices at Stater Brothers.
Okay.
Smell it and think of it as hot. Exactly what his shit smelled for almost 3 fucking years. And he had a healthy diet. We didn't feed him shit or something specific. He had a very healthy over. I mean, he had elk and buffalo and deer. Like he's
Oh yeah.
eaten a healthy variety of things, no food allergies. But I swear to God, for almost 3 years, his shit would always smell like warmed up Stater Brothers buttercream cake loaf slices.
I like just slightly sweet.
It smelled like a fucking bakery. Specifically a Stater Brothers, that one, like sweet, but like almost like a, oh my God, I'm hungry. Like I swear to God. And my youngest son, straight shit, just straight like, oh,
Oh, this guy.
second one just straight dumpster fire. My oldest, it was like, oh, this must what angels smell like when they shit. This has got to be it. This has got to be like a fucking John in heaven.
I'm genuinely I'm keen to just to learn. I would happily have this happen to me.
Let me tell you now, though, as a 4-year-old, when he poops, it's like, yeah, you fucking pooped. Holy.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But,
bad.
but back then, dude, my wife thought I was an insane madman, and my family too. And I'm like, no,
She
man.
wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I love changing his diaper because I was like this.
And you loved talking about how much you love changing your son's diaper.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they reinforce the learning. You're like, yep, it's the going gotta be good.
I can't. Let's say this. I look forward for when his first girlfriend comes over.
I'm
Oh,
gonna tell him straight away. I'm
fucking oh, girl.
gonna get you back for that.
Okay,
Uh,
number 10.
There's 6 more questions.
Yeah, we're still going.
yeah, okay.
10. Exercise. Worth it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think sometimes unfortunately, but yes, it is worth it.
Okay, flat or sparkling?
Sparkling, I think.
Oh, fancy man. Very, very posh.
I think it just tastes good.
All right. Hey, what's the most used app on your phone?
It's gonna be email.
Really?
Okay.
I
Okay.
was about to say, why is it YouTube? But email. Interesting.
Email. I like that. That's,
Mm.
you know what? That's the most philosophical answer, I think, right there. Just like, it's my email.
Yeah, I genuinely hate email. So here's a fun one. I've got this like dumb phone that I've been like deciding if I can like fully move to. The best thing about this, look at this. All right, all right, all right. This thing has a torch on it. Like an actual torch. Like a not shit torch.
That's a legit fucking
And,
flashlight. By the way,
and just
Yeah,
to
right?
just to be clear, torch is how you
Oh
guys say
yes.
flashlight overseas.
Yeah, no, a big fire didn't erupt out the top.
and for those not on YouTube right now, our doctor, good doctor here, brought out basically the old school cell phones.
It's
Yeah,
all
it like had buttons and stuff.
oh, yeah.
I remember buttons.
Right?
No, it's just a little screen.
I
Yeah,
love that.
I
And it's a
I
legit
don't
flashlight.
especially like phones. I don't want to be contactable. If I want to be able to ring somebody and that be it. They can't ring me. If I want to speak, I'm just calling you. And that's it. That'd be great. But unfortunately, email works.
You're not quite as hardcore as Christopher Nolan, who apparently does not own a cell phone at all, and he says, "Well, I can just if I need to call someone, I'll just borrow someone else's phone."
Yeah, but he's lying because the truth is that he can afford a whole ass human being to tell him when he's needed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different.
If I could afford a whole ass human being to tell me when I'm needed, I would do a lot of things differently.
Yeah, that's that's different.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's one with a little explanation because it is broken down.
Okay.
If you get one song to listen to for the rest of your life, what is it? And by that, it's not going to be playing continuously. It's whenever you decide in your head, like, okay, time to listen to music. It's just one song.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I have an easy answer to that again. Fox on the Run.
Oh shit! That's
Ooh.
Let's go.
wow. I would never in a million years thought it'd be a Styx answer. Holy
I
shit!
could so just sing that over and over again in like a repetitive way, not even singing the whole song, just enough of it to get through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone like Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I would I would be thinking of Kath and Kim. Kel Knight is would be hilarious. That's what I'd be
Dude,
thinking of.
I honestly feel Styx is such an underrated band compared to like, because here's the thing, Guardians of the Galaxy made it popular, but beforehand it would be joked about like, you like Styx, really? Like that was the joke in an episode of that '70s show that
Huh.
everyone was like, "Really, you like Styx?" But secretly, like all the guys in the group were like hardcore Styx fans and were secretly trying to go to the concert. But they were like, "This, oh yeah, you're gay, right? Like you like that, right? Like, oh yeah, that's so lame, right? Like,
Well, you know that in Pittsburgh, they play Renegade before every Steelers game.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's awesome. I live in Pittsburgh because where they were in what's in that '70s show. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I love Styx. Fucking love. Oh god, that's
yeah. I just that's so cool. It's such a cool song. Yeah. After that, it might be Spice Up Your Life.
all right, here, okay, for number 14, this will be for Travis. Travis, you ready for it? You're gonna answer it yes or no to him, okay?
Oh, what number am I? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So, what number is Travis thinking of?
Hmm. 14.
Nope.
Bugger.
You know what? I think that's the joke, by the way, with Stephen Colbert. People think his answer is 14.
Yeah. I want it to be 14. That would make sense to me. Yeah.
I chose 47, which is
47.
like, which is
Okay.
yeah, because apparently in fiction, and especially if you came out of Pomona College, um, it's like the number. It's like a number writers use when they have to come up with a random number, which is why
Ah.
Joe Menosky used it so much when he wrote Star Trek episodes. It was like, oh, 47 people died in this incident. Or how many crates do we have? 47. Or it's on deck it's on deck 47. Like you just hear 47 in like random
I
spots
like
and
it. That's cool. It's like foo. Uh,
it
that's sick.
I don't even remember my answer. What was my number?
I don't remember.
I can remember it all.
That's the
Uh,
best way. There's no way they could be right.
And the last one, number 15. Describe. Oh my God. Holy shit. The fucking number question is number 14 too.
ah, that's
Holy.
probably why. That's
There
why.
you go. All right. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Hmm. Hmm. That is so fucking difficult.
Hey! Oh my God.
I guess that's your show, everybody.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Is that like how you view just everything? Like that is so fucking difficult.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real. Everything is.
Oh well.
Thank
Oh
you, Dr.
well.
Baker.
Yeah. Thanks, Johnny. Great to have you on.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sure to. Well, if you're listening, our socials. Just
Yeah.
find our socials. It's at Give Us the Launch Codes wherever.
I might text, or I might call you.
or watch us on and we're on YouTube. We're all on the pod
Spotify, Apple
apps.
Podcasts, RSS.
Cool. YouTube is a good way.
As we
YouTube's
like
the
to
way
say,
to go.
Travis, we're on Grindr.
No, we're not. Oh, we're really not. But that's my joke. All right, yeah. Thanks for thanks for coming on, Johnny.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It was
Anything else you'd like to say to our viewers in the world?
fun. No, nothing at all.
Fucking great. I
Think
love
smarter and harder.
it. Well, everybody, that's another great episode of Give Us the Launch Codes. I'm Tom.
I'm Travis, and
Good
I'm
evening.
Johnny.
And that's Johnny. Yeah, it is Johnny. Yeah, the doctor's in the house.
here's Johnny.
It is Johnny.
Finally got to make that joke.
We've been waiting the whole episode.
I get it so often. It's great.
Yeah.
In England, we have a condom.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Bye, everyone. I'll stop recording now. Bye.